Most entrepreneurs think that success starts with funding. Others think that it's marketing, while others think that it's a perfect product. Now, here is the truth. All of that does not matter if you skip this particular step. Now, in this, we're talking about a strategy that a lot of 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs are using that a lot of SMEs are ignoring. Please stay tuned as we go deeper into what this specific strategy is and how you can use it to scale your business. Welcome once again. This is Phiri Consulting, where we help entrepreneurs like you scale with strategy and not stress. If you're new here, I'm Kenneth Phiri. Thank you so much for joining in. Please consider subscription to the channel. Also like our videos and share with other entrepreneur friends. The first point that you need to take into consideration is this, that what we're talking about here is not just theory, but it's a proven strategy, a strategy that we also use with South African entrepreneurs, and hopefully soon enough, we're going to be using this same strategy with other global partners and other people around the globe to make sure that we help them scale their businesses. So in this very video, what we're talking about is relentless value creation. Okay, now before we go deeper into it, now there is always a reason why SMEs are not scaling. Most of SMEs that are coming through to our coaching programs or that we're engaging with on social media and on other platforms, usually the biggest problem that they have is that they are failing to scale their business. Growth remains one of the most important things that entrepreneurship wants to venture into, yet it's still one of those things that eludes a lot of entrepreneurs. So the question still remains, why is it so difficult, or why are entrepreneurs, in particular SMEs, struggling to grow their businesses? The first and most important reason, we spoke about this in the last video, I'll link that video in the description down below, was the issue of pricing. A lot of entrepreneurs try to compete on pricing. Now, when they do so, they try to push their prices down and down, and it comes to a point where they cannot effectively compete because they fail to cover their cost. In doing so, they find themselves in the red, while their competitors with bigger budgets or who are enjoying economies of scale are able to sustain lower prices. So it's not an effective strategy to compete on price. In any case, charging the lowest does not actually guarantee that you're going to get the customers, because customers do not remember the lowest price. What they'll remember is the best offer, or the best way someone else solved their problem, or the best way that they were received by business, the entire flow from the time they engaged with the brand up to their problem being satisfied. They'll enjoy that experience. If they do that, this is something memorable, and it is always something that causes them to come back even for more, as far as satisfying that particular need is concerned. Now, another reason that a lot of SMEs are struggling to grow is the fact that a lot of businesses out there, and maybe you're one of those that you're doing the same thing with what everybody else is doing. There is no difference in terms of your offer. There's no difference in terms of your product or service offering. You are just mimicking what is already there in the market. It's true. Obviously, you have read this, that don't create something new, in the sense that do not invent the wheel, so to say. Because someone else has already made mistakes for you. There are solutions that you can take, but you can tailor make these to suit your particular audience and package it into a very unique offer that you can get. But often this is not the case. A lot of people are just copycats. They're copying exactly what is already on the market, and doing so, they don't stand out. And because they cannot be differentiated from the millions of offers out there in the market, and they fail to compete effectively, because there are others who have been in the market before them offering the same product or service that they offer, and they have become masters at doing so. So competition becomes so difficult, and then they can't compete. Okay, so then the question is, what is relentless value creation, which is the main focus of this video? Okay, relentless value creation is whereby you are solving the biggest pain points of your customers better than everyone else in a way that is unique to everyone else, and you're making sure that you stand out while doing this. Now, in most cases, you will find that as much as you are able to identify the pain points, usually the point is that the pain point has not been identified, and you're basically offering whatever it is that you feel the market wants from you, or something that you're good at producing. So you find that at most times, no matter how much value you want to create, or no matter how much value you want to offer to the market, you fail dismally because you always miss the mark as far as addressing the pain point. So usually this is the beginning of this particular strategy. How do you go about then being a relentless value creator for your target audience? What is it that you need to do? So let's look at a couple of steps that you can take, or a couple of things that you can do to make sure that you have this strategy in your business and that you implement it effectively to get you the right kind of results that will bring you the right kind of business and make you achieve those objectives that you have set out to achieve. The first thing that you must do is to know their pain points better than they do. Now, we're talking about knowing the pain points of your customers better than they do. I think it was earlier in the year, I'll check for that video and also link it down below, when we're talking about the current state analysis. Basically, Phiri Consulting, what we do is we deal with small to medium-sized enterprises and help them through growth objectives, through coaching and other mechanisms and other programs that we have. So usually when we take them in, if growth is the issue that they have, usually we always find that they have not done the current state analysis. So in this particular step, what you ought to be doing is to make sure that you conduct surveys, interviews, and even do social listening. What you want to do there is to want to find out exactly which is the biggest pain point, if there's anything like that. How many pain points your customers have? Can these pain points be addressed? And if they can, in which way can you be able to address them? So first and foremost, know their pain points. You have to be in that position to know that pain point, identify it, articulate it, and make sure that you identify each and everything within that particular pain point that you can address. So what we usually do, we usually conduct what I said earlier, which is the current state analysis. Now, in this, for us, it's a simple survey, a simple online survey. You can use it even in your business. I say that you can always create a Google form, right? In that Google form, make sure that you just have got only 3 questions. The first question could be, let's say you have an online platform. Do you enjoy using this platform, or software, or whatever the case might be? Now, if the answer is yes or no, what you're basically looking for there is you want to find out from the onset of the gate whether this thing is useful to them or not. Then the next question could be, what is it that you like about it, if the answer was yes? All right. And then they'll tell you exactly. So which means you can double down on that thing that they are liking about the particular product or service or the platform. And then you can easily improve on that service or on that offering. And then the third is now the most important question in the survey. In this question, what you're saying is, if there is one thing that they could change about the product, about the platform, about the app, what will that one thing be? Now, often this is the pain point that you are currently not addressing. You'll find that you'll get a variety of responses as far as this question is concerned. Now, this will direct your next steps in terms of creating the right kind of value for your customers. So this means that as often as you take this survey, the customers' needs also, remember that they're evolving. So it has to be a continuous loop of generating feedback using a survey, using interviews, or whatever it is that you're using to generate that feedback. In doing so, you identify those missing points, where you're missing it in terms of the offer that you have, and then creating a solution or an offer that will suit or that will solve those particular issues. Now, this has worked immensely with the customers or with the small businesses that we're dealing with, and it has gone to produce better results for them. And I'm sure that it will do the same for you. If you're interested in this just leave a comment before we go into the next part of this strategy. Just leave a comment down below and then we'll address it with you privately. Okay, now having said that, then this takes us to the next step in relentless value creation. The second thing that you must be doing then is to deliver a wow factor experience. Now, there's something different that you must do that makes the customer stop and say, wow. All right, I gave an example in the last video where we were talking about getting customers without spending more. One of the things, the examples that I gave you was, look at a coffee shop, for instance, that remembers your name and remember your order preferences. Obviously, you'll go back there because now they've personalized the service to actually remember who you are. Now, for us, what we basically do here is we make sure that we're accessible 24/7. We have found out that a lot of our clients appreciate the fact that we are reachable anytime they want us. Because remember, sometimes the problems that they have can only pop up at certain times. Now, their ability to reach us when they are looking for us means that they're able to trust us with the problem because we're available for them when they're in that time of need. And because of that, then we obviously will win that customer because others are not accessible at that time. So it is that small thing that we do that will always give us the right kind of business. And these customers have always come back to us and told us, you know what, I like the fact that I can always come back to you anytime I have access to you. So that is very important. It doesn't mean that you're waking yourself to death, but you must make sure that whatever it is that you do is something that you're comfortable doing and is something that you can offer continuously without burning out. Number 3, what you must be doing there is then package value, not just products. Now, what we mean by packaging value, not just product, is this. When you are coming up with an offer, you can always bundle the offer depending on customer outcomes or depending on what the customer needs, depending on a particular problem. For instance, let's say we got someone coming through, and usually, like I say, the main reason that a lot of entrepreneurs are coming through is that they're having challenges scaling. Now, if they're having challenges scaling and we're taking them through one of our growth programs, there are certain things that need to be in place there. It could be maybe teaching them on how to do their marketing, which means we need to introduce them to digital marketing tactics or content marketing. We also create with them that particular offer where we put in templates that they can use at times to post, help them to post. This is how you deal with feedback. This is how you analyze information from your clients. So not only are we just coaching, but we're also going the extra mile and helping them solve all these other problems that are part of the main pain point that they have. So in so doing, the offer itself will have some other packages within it that gives a more holistic approach to solving their problem. So always make sure that when you do package your offer, you've got other extras that make it worthwhile for the customer. In this, you are relentlessly creating value for your customer. And the customer will say this. And when the customer is happy, you are also happy because you're getting a customer that will always come back to you whenever they have problem. The fourth thing then is you need to follow up and stay present. Now, this is a fact. 80% of customers that you end up getting usually is they can only come on board after maybe the fifth or so interaction with them. Some of them is not once off. You have a first interaction and boom, they become your customers. Others, it takes time to nurture them, right? You have to take them through the funnel. First, they were cold leads and then they became warmer and warmer until they are hot enough for you to close them. Okay, so now, because of that, then you need to maintain communication, engagement with them. You can use emails, you can use whatever it is that you're using. You can use WhatsApp and so forth to make sure that at all times you're in contact with them. Do not break that bridge that you've sort of created, no matter how thin the line is between you and them. Make sure that you try by all means to nurture it. In so doing, you find that in future that these become your customers, because as you engage with them, as you spend time with them, they get to know more about you, and in that way develop trust. And with that trust comes a certain amount of loyalty, because now you are positioning the brand right before them. And as far as a brand positioning is concerned, you are always first in their mind as far as solving a particular problem is, until it gets to a problem, to a point where they want to try that particular solution that you have. And then that's the time when they become your customer. So be relentless in making sure that you reach out to them and in maintaining contact with your target audience. Number 5, you need to turn happy customers into free marketers. Okay, so whenever you've got customers that are happy with your brand, always make sure that you collect testimonials. It could be case study stories, anything that the customer is happy with about your product, about the experience that they had with your brand. Document it. You can use video, you can use text, however you can document it. Now you can now use this as a selling point to others that do not know the brand, because in most cases people will respond better, or your market will respond better to people, because now they're seeing real people giving testimonials about their experience with the brand. Now this sells, always it will sell. It will never fail selling, because now you have created assets that people can trust, and that will always go a long way. So always make sure that you collect anything that the customer says, good or bad, and also use this in your marketing efforts, in your marketing communications on socials. Make sure that you populate it. Document. Documentation always works better than creativity. So document, because this is actually what is happening on the ground. And if that is what is happening, then customers will trust it coming from someone else rather than coming directly from you. Okay, I'm sure it's easy then to see from this point that this strategy doesn't just get you more customers, it makes you maintain even the ones that you already have, because as you continue creating value relentlessly for your clients, it means that you are solving problems even as their problems evolve, even as their taste and preferences change. You are in a position to generate the right kind of feedback, to know exactly what is going on in the market, in their minds, in their households, wherever they might be, and making sure that you come up with an offer that suits that. Now, if you're interested in building such a strategy or in generating such a strategy, we are also willing to work together with you here at Phiri Consulting. So please do leave a comment or book on any of the contacts that we have left in the description down below. You can reach us on our website. You can reach us on WhatsApp and on all the other social platforms, on LinkedIn. We are there on Facebook as well as on Instagram. Don't hesitate. Book a free, very free. You don't need to pay anything. A free consultation, 30-minute call to find out exactly whether you and us are a good fit. And if we're a good fit, then we can talk next steps. But feel free to contact us. We are available anytime you need us. This is Phiri Consulting. Thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on any fresh and exciting strategies that we're bringing your way. Subscribe. We'll see you in the next episode. Remember always that early preparation equals excellent results. Bye.